Today is a new episode of Talking to Myself. It has been 3 months since I left my full-time job to start this business full-time. Now, as some of you may have known, I left my previous job via resignation on 31st January 2023 to start on this whole digital business, including this YouTube channel. And I realized that some of you were really confused with my previous video on when I quit my job. I only officially quit my job this year, 31st January. It's not like I quit last year. I only started making that video last year because I knew I was going to quit this year. So it was kind of a time travel concept, you see, because I knew that I wanted to quit, but I wanted to record my thoughts back then. So I hope that everyone is now clear of the timeline. And speaking of which, we are now 3 months into the self-employment life. So in this episode, I will share some insights and some reflections after I have left my corporate MNC job and starting on this whole thing as a full business. But before that, if you want to connect with like-minded individuals, then head over to my Honey Money SG Telegram group with over 6,000 members right now. Now, I know that since the second half of 2022, up till now, we have been in a very difficult environment, especially for corporate employees. There is a really tough job market compared to previous 2 years, and retrenchments, layoff exercise has been existing, including the most recent Amazon layoff where people actually cried. So some of you may think that I must be crazy in order to quit during this very high tension period, especially we are in a recession potentially, and there may be not much clients buying such services. That is what your company is telling you, right? Corporate layoffs are everywhere. Please keep your job. Don't think about hopping to another job because it's difficult to find another job. Everywhere is retrenching and we are in a recession. So let me explain myself that I have already made the decision to quit since March 2022. That was before all the inflation, all the recession news even happened. So I was destined to quit. And before I even considered to quit, I need to make sure there are 4 things in place. Number 1, emergency savings. So emergency savings, we are always talking about 6 months to 12 months, right? Because what if you are laid off from a job, then maybe you need some time to get a new job, especially in this very difficult market sentiment. But you realize that if you are going to start your own business, you need even more emergency cash savings because this time you are not protected with a job. You are the job. So emergency savings has been even more relevant and important then. Therefore, I have already stashed up close to 2 to 3 years of emergency savings, much more than 6 months. And most of them are parked in liquid cash instruments like your Singapore savings bond, your high interest savings account, or even the 6-month T-bills. Number 2 will be CPF. And I already reached the full retirement sum since the age of 30. And some of you will be asking, why is CPF even relevant when you're starting a business? I mean, it's just for me, we are all entitled to our own views of CPF. But to me, having a full retirement sum in the CPF special account gives me the safety net that my retirement funds are secured. It doesn't mean that you need to hit FRS before you start a business. Okay, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that in order to provide myself a peace of mind, having a good FRS in CPF is good for me to start out. Of course, if you're a startup founder or entrepreneur, you may have differing views on CPF, and that is okay. We can disagree. But I'm just saying CPF is good for me. Is it good for you? I don't know. Number 3 on the plan is that I need to fully use up my corporate benefits and make sure I'm eligible for the company annual bonus. Because when you are still in the company, you are still entitled to some benefits or some claims or some allowance, right? Make sure you just fully utilize all of them. Don't abuse them. Just use within the limit. And for company annual bonus wise, recently we heard of this news whereby this engineer submitted the resignation too early. And then the company took this previous employee to court, right? And they have to recover all the annual bonus. So you have to be very careful. Read your company terms and conditions on the annual bonus. When is the date effectively that you can capture the bonus? If best, you can check with HR. Therefore, I make sure that I am eligible for the bonus before I really leave the company. Lastly, I need to ensure that my business is sustainable and cash flow positive. So some of you may have this impression that I only started the business this year. No, it's not true because I already started this thing as a side hustle since January 2021. So that has been more than 2 years already. And I made sure that it was cash flow positive and sustainable for 2 years before I decided to go all in. So it's not like I just start out of nowhere and hope that it works, because hope is not a strategy, my friend. You need to have a sound business strategy that is sustainable. And I believe I really got sustainable after more sponsors are pouring in money to my channel, which happens to be one of them now. May is a special month because it is my birthday month and it's also Weibo's 1-year anniversary in Singapore. Now, business as usual, if you deposit any amount, even $1, you can get 5 lucky spins. If you hold your deposit for at least 30 days, don't make any withdrawals, and each lucky spin, you can get shares from Tesla, Apple, Microsoft or Google. So with 5 lucky spins, you can get up to $500 worth of stocks. And for the current month of May, for every referral you make, you have one chance of winning $888. Every week they will choose one winner, and even the grand prize, there will be one lucky winner that walks away or drive away with a Tesla Model 3. So I don't know about you, but if I don't have a Weibo account right now, I will definitely use this chance to sign up, get up to 500 US stocks, and maybe got a chance to win the Tesla. So wait no more, use my referral link down below or scan the QR code right here to get your Weibo SG account today. So yeah, like the sponsored message you see, this kind of helps support my business in terms of cash flow. So instead of having revenue charged to my own name and own account as a sole proprietor, I decided to incorporate a company. The story about this is that in the late half of 2022, I started gaining some more traction, some more new deals, better money, better income in the late half of the year. And I realized that this could be a sustainable business model. Like Chicken Genius once said, there's 2 things to grow a business. Number 1, there's a proof of concept, and number 2, there's scalability. So even if you have just one of these, it's not enough. You need to have both. And I realized that I have a business strategy to grow both together in terms of the proof of concept as well as the scalability. That's why I took the plunge. At the end of 2022, I forecasted my business income for the past 12 months and then work out a business strategy for the year of 2023. So coupled with my previous company's employment bonus, I did up the sums in terms of accounting and found that it's more beneficial for me to incorporate a company and record all the earnings as business revenue for tax advantage reasons. And mind you, that is not illegal. That's the whole purpose of setting up businesses in Singapore. By the way, if you didn't know, for a new company incorporated in Singapore, the corporate income tax rate on the first 3 years is only 4.25% for the first $100,000 of net income. So you see, 4.25% versus your personal income tax rate maybe at 7% or 11.5%. That's a very huge difference, right? Just take the 4.25% corporate income tax for the first 3 years. And this is actually a tax incentive encouraged by the Singapore government because they want to attract foreign companies to set up their business here. And truthfully be told, most companies and startups actually lose money within the first 3 years, so they aren't paying any corporate taxes anyway. Anyway, I already incorporated my company in January this year, which also means that I have limited liability because it's a private limited structure. Unlike a sole proprietor, if someone is to put a legal case against you, it's unlimited liability, which is quite dangerous. And as an employee under my company, I have the authority to issue myself pay slips because I am an employee of my own company that incorporated by me. Now, this is very important, especially next year I'm collecting my keys to my BTO flat and I want to make sure that all the proper documentation for income is there for the home loan and mortgage. And I think one of the main reasons that I really wanted to quit the corporate job and do this myself is because of the flexibility and the freedom. Can you imagine, like, sometimes I need to meet clients or business partners or attend some meetings, events or lunches with other people. I need to take leave from my corporate job. It's becoming very distracting, right? And hindering the performance of my team members. Like, for example, ever since Singapore has opened up no more mask mandates, we have been going to some dinner or lunch events with various key opinion leaders, or even the recent Sydney Personal Finance Festival where I was a panel speaker. Okay, we need to have a rehearsal in the midday. Can you imagine I tell my boss, I need to go for a rehearsal during this work hour. Can I take some time off? Then your manager may really question, where is your priority? Is it in a full-time job or in your side hustle? So I don't want to be in that situation anymore. So I guess if you are thinking to start your business or just transition from your side hustle to a full-time thing, you need to know of these very important concepts. Number 1, self-discipline. There's really no one telling you what to do now. Okay, no manager giving you the task, assigning you work. You need to assign yourself work, and therefore you need to be self-motivated because now you are the one calling the shots. There's no one telling you what to do. You need to know how to monetize your skills and your services. And you definitely need a lot of business sense. I cannot really explain business sense because some people just have it inside of them. Some people, no matter how you train them, they also don't have one. So it's like an entrepreneur mindset, growth mindset, instead of a scarcity or steal mindset. You need to have more abundance mindset. And you need to be comfortable that no one is going to tell you what to do or how to do. You are really on your own, and you have no more colleagues if you're just starting it out alone. So you really need to be self-driven individual. Anyway, I think I talked to myself enough for now. What else do you all want to know? Just comment down in the comment section below. I'll make them in a separate video. But if you are new here and you don't know what I'm talking about, maybe you can refer to my previous video on why I quit my corporate job to start this whole digital business.